welcome back to Migration, Season 2, Episode... I can't remember. I totally forgot, but I don't know where we are. That's okay. We're going to figure that out in post-production. But anyway, from time to time, it is necessary to come back to the ultimate point behind this show, and that's what I hope to do today with this episode and with a really great meditation that I'm going to offer you today. As you may have noticed, I love diving into all the wonderful and fascinating topics that sprout from my central point, my primary message, but I always want to remind everyone that what I'm pitching you, if anything at all, is the notion that right now, in this very moment, you are caught up in a sort of dance, one that you may not always be aware of. And that is, right now, internally, you are experiencing a sort of resistance to sliding back into your natural state of awareness, which requires no energy whatsoever. As I've said before, enlightenment requires zero effort. And we can speak about enlightenment in religious terminology, or we can see this as a spiritual experience, or perhaps just as a deeply psychological inner peace. At any point in the present moment, you can drop all of this internal energy you're expending on maintaining your context, which is upheld by the narrative always running in the background, obsessively narrating your life like you're in some movie. That's how many people will describe it. You can, at any point, realize this is not you. Ultimately, you are that which is observing this play of thought and order and identity, and you can sink back into pure awareness, which I continue to attempt to illustrate on this show is ever present, not just in space, but in time as well. You might visualize this dance that you're caught up in as if you're maintaining an orbit just around the periphery of some massive star that is always drawing you in. You maintain this resistance either consciously or unconsciously. When you allow yourself to give in to the gravity of pure, non-localized consciousness, we might refer to this experience as a holy communion, or reaching nirvana, or the dropping of the ego, entering heaven, or enlightenment, as I usually call it, or the thousands of other names humans have been using to point to this rare but perfectly natural state of consciousness. Whatever you choose to call it, the direct experience is the only thing that matters in this game, which is why I will continue to strongly suggest picking up a regular meditation practice. So today we're covering what I found is the most direct meditation method to tap into this source of awareness. It's so direct and free of any kind of extraneous steps or visualizations or mantras that your mind is really going to fight it. You'll see what I'm talking about in this episode of Migration, where we are going to cut through all the distractions and dive right into enlightenment itself. So get comfortable, smoke 'em if you got 'em, and get ready for today's episode of Migration. However you imagine this enlightenment we're referring to, it is, in the end, pure bliss. It is pure peace. Some may even call it the source of eternal love and acceptance, but it's also the source of true sanity as well. Many people don't really consider that enlightenment isn't just a lofty spiritual notion. It's the epitome of mental and emotional balance and well-being, and it's available to you at any moment. In reality, the present moment is the only time, the only point that you'll ever find enlightenment. This is not something that happens after you die. The very idea that heaven is only a place that you get to as a prize after you're dead, and only if you've been really good is it's a powerful source of illness in so many of our cultures. That very notion is toxic. It taints the way you see everything in your world. It's always taking the final goal and moving it away from your present moment in one way or another. You know that I don't like to ridicule religious dogma too much on this show, but that concept that heaven is just this place that you can only get to after you're dead, only if you've lived the right kind of life and had the right kind of beliefs, it's so dangerous and it's so toxic. It's a lie that has one ultimate intention. Its intention is to separate you from your own power. It seeks to keep you from the truth that you have access to this powerful state of awareness whenever you wish to drop your defenses. The layers upon layers of defenses we've picked up through our lifetime. But what I am telling you is that all of those many layers of resistance that you've accumulated over your lifetime all of them can be chopped through in an instant, and you can immediately transport yourself from the most distracted, anxious states of mind directly into a pure center of attention that is an eternal source of awareness which connects everything and everyone. And that is the meditation practice that we're going to dive in today. And as I said, your mind is really not going to like this one at all. And that's a good sign, because the mind aims to hold your attention just off center within a safe world of context and metaphor and thought, where it feels safe and it feels like it's in control. As I've been saying since the first episode of this show, the mind essentially sees the present moment as it unfolds in the now as chaos. The unfolding moment offers nothing for the mind to control, to grasp onto. The mind prefers to record some event that happened and then basically drag it off into its basement to reflect on and edit and dissect. You know, the very reason that meditation is so difficult for the majority of us is that it's because the mind throws every excuse it can come up with as to why you can't do this right now. It'll come up with any reason under the sun as to why right now isn't the time to be here in the present moment. So the meditation that I am suggesting today is a walking meditation. Again, it's important that your body is moving for this particular practice, because the movement itself is going to help us step back and notice how our consciousness actually does not move as the body does. From the perspective of consciousness, you know that there is no real movement. Very much like in a video game where your character is actually standing still, and rather it's the world that moves around your character. So why would we even want to visualize the world like this, where we imagine we're standing still and it's the world actually that's moving around us? It's because consciousness, as I've been saying, is non-localized. That means it's everywhere. So in and of itself, consciousness doesn't really experience movement. The body does. Physical objects experience movement and speed and distance. We're going to use that principle to sneak into enlightenment instantly. We're going to enter a state of awareness where the world is going to instead move around you, where you are a stationary, unmoved object. Okay, so the meditation technique that I'm suggesting today, it is as simple as this. I want you to go for a walk around your neighborhood. Do this at a time where you can be free from distraction. Put your phone away, put all of your business away for the day. If you can do this at the end of the day, I find those meditations work best for me when I have already done everything I'm going to do today. I've gone to work, I've done all of the work that I need to do for the day, and everything is behind you. You can kind of just sort of slip into an easier relaxation. I find that when I meditate in the morning, my mind is too easily caught up in what it is that I need to do that day. I'm still planning. I'm still kind of just deciding what it is, how I need to structure everything for the rest of my day. So I find that meditation works best at the end of the day, but whatever works best for you. So As you walk, I want you to take in the sights and the sounds around you. Feel the wind against your face, all of the stimuli that's in your environment. You're going to sort of let your eyes go unfocused. That is, I want you to stop focusing on specific items in your environment and instead let all the stimuli come into your awareness as one continuous flow of movement. Feel your legs moving, your feet against the ground, your breathing, your arms swinging. Let all of that stimuli come into your awareness until you can tap into the perspective of you being a stationary source and everything else is moving around you. What you'll find is that it's the easiest perspective to tap into once you stop fighting it. You'll get better and better at doing this, and you'll find that getting into this zone requires really no effort at all. You can instantly go from an anxious, spinning mind full of distraction and doubt and directly into this stationary center at the eye of the storm, which is always quiet and peaceful. You might imagine yourself as if you are on a treadmill, and as you walk, there's really, the ground is just sort of rolling underneath you and you are actually standing still. Get into that perspective. Let yourself dive and immerse yourself into that perspective. And that really is it. There really are no other instructions to this. It really is that simple. And your mind is going to fight this when you go into this frame of mind. Remember that the mind is the one that wants a meditation practice that's full of steps. It starts thinking, well, I have to master my breathing and my posture, and then, I have to hold my fingers in a certain way, and then I have to recite that certain mantra. I say it's time to move past all that. I have no use for that because the mind wants to see this enlightenment thing as a problem to be solved, so it can hold the carrot again off to the side and tell you stories about how, no, you haven't attained the proper attention to meditate yet, so you should just quit now. This isn't the right time for that. That voice is lying to you. You are lying to yourself. And, that's what humans are best at, right? We are really good at lying to ourselves. And I'm not here to tell you that you need years of therapy or practice to stop lying to yourself. I'm going to make it even easier than that. I want you to consider that all the lying and manipulating and planning and regurgitating and philosophizing we're doing in our heads requires monumental effort. The brain uses more energy than any other organ in the human body. So I'm going to tell you to simply drop your effort. Because here's the trick. You're the one who is in ultimate control of all of that internal noise all the time. When you pay attention, you can almost feel yourself flexing muscles inside your brain to maintain all of this noise, all of these thinking patterns. That's how you should think of the brain for this meditation. It really is a muscle. And your context, the narration you're trapped within, can be put to a halt as fast as you can drop a barbell out of your hand. It really is as simple as that. Can it be that easy? In the end, is enlightenment really as simple as stopping and dropping a weight you've been carrying for far too long? That can't be right? No, there must be 7 years of meditation in an ashram, right? There must be 12 years of yoga training under a guru in India, right? Or I need to pick up a vegetarian diet, or I have to align my frickin' chakras first, and blah, 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 blah. This is fear talking in the end. These are all excuses not to go there right now. That's the attitude this meditation takes. Drop the effort right now and don't entertain a thought otherwise for even a moment. Because the truth is, you right now are enlightened. Right now, drop all doubt and be. Did that work? That would be pretty cool if it did. I'm going to get an email later saying, holy shit, I'm totally one with the universe right now after watching that section of your video. That might sound funny, but the truth is that there's no reason to accept the doubts and the distractions you're clinging to at all, ever. Okay, so it really is. It's as simple as that. Walk. Pay attention to no particular stimuli coming into your awareness. Let it all flow in equally and pull your perspective back to a stationary, non moving source where everything else is just moving around you, and try to hold that view of the world without letting a single doubt slip in, a single distraction. And if you do get distracted, that's okay. That's how we're programmed. Don't judge or curse yourself. Just pull yourself right back into that stationary center. Don't make this complicated. And, tell me in the comments how it went for you. Tell me how this worked. If you actually try this out, tell me what pulled you off center, or if you were even able to get into this state to begin with. And, tell me, tell me how you describe it. How do you describe that sense? Because I sense it as if I'm kind of, like I said, walking on a treadmill on some level, or I'm in some video game and I'm a video game character who's just sort of moving through the environment, and everything else is just sort of manifesting and moving around my ultimate center. And as always, I am always open to your comments and suggestions or your questions. Just write them in the comments below. I will get back to you in a timely manner. I always try to get back to anyone within a few days' time. I've really appreciated those of you who have reached out to me, either here at YouTube or some of my social media accounts, and asked me questions about what's going on, and asked for clarification for some of the practices you've been trying. That's great. I like to see people engaging with this material. And of course, I'm going to ask you to do that typical like and subscribe thing. Yes, that it really does help take this information and spread it to other people who may have never seen it otherwise. So it just, again, it bumps those numbers up just a little bit, and it helps spread this information just a little bit further. So please go ahead and do that if you are enjoying what you are seeing here. So until next time, thanks so much for watching. Take care. Because here's the trick. You're the one in ultimate... Yeah, sure.